Hi everyone, it's Oskari Tempakka from Wave.ventures here. Super excited to kick off our first ever video investment announcement. In addition to our more traditional blog posts, we've decided to start putting out video interviews with our newest family members to both shed some light on the inner workings of a VC, how and why we make investment decisions at Wave, and to give our new companies a platform to share their story and tell us what they're all about. So, without further ado, I'm super excited to have the co-founders of our newest portfolio company, RENS, here with me. Jesse and Son, welcome guys.
Hi guys, my name is Jesse. I am the CEO and co-founder of RENS Coffee Shoe.
And I'm Son. I'm the CMO, CTO, co-founder, and anything else in between.
Awesome. So, to start off with basics, what is RENS? We have them here in front of us.
Yes, so at RENS we create the world's first sneaker made from recycled coffee waste and plastic waste. So what we do is that after you boil the coffee and then you throw the coffee grounds away, we use those coffee grounds to mix it with like recycled polyester made from used water bottles, and then we create this beautiful bad boy right here.
A lot has happened from the first prototypes to this stage to having a shoe that actually looks pretty good to some eyes. It divides opinions as well, and that's something I'd like to ask because your shoe has a pretty distinct design. Yeah. Where does this come from? There's a hashtag on top.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can take this one, I guess. So the reason for our hashtag, because we feel the hashtag is a very familiar symbol for the young generation. Because we're surrounded on our social platform where hashtag is so common used, and it's to us it's the symbol to start a movement, or you can join the movement by just using the hashtag. So it's such a great symbol for a community. So why not? Why not put it on our use it as our logo?
And it just looks good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the demographic you're targeting? It might not be the most traditional demographic that sustainable products are targeting.
No, actually, so that is actually the basis of this whole business. So I and Son start out, we want to aim at like a very young consumer, like young millennials or Generation Z, because we want to make sustainability something really epic and sexy, so that the young generation, the next generation of consumers, could be naturally attracted to pursue instead of like feeling guilty about the environment. So our target demographic is like young millennials and Generation Z, like 16 to 24 years old, but even a bit older also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that, and that's a story that a lot of people have caught on to, and congrats on the very successful Kickstarter campaign.
Thank you.
People have bought that story, bought the ideology behind
too.
RENS.
Thanks a lot, guys.
And
supporting us.
And it's been a long journey to get to this stage, and a lot goes on between founding a company to closing your first round of financing. So what has this journey been like for you guys?
Yeah, so I and Son met like a few years ago. We used to work in the same company together, and after a while we met up, and then we are sneakerheads.
Yeah,
right?
fun fact, we met in Starbucks.
Oh yeah, like the first meeting after like a while, like we haven't talked to each other for a long time, and then the first meeting after like a very long time we met at Starbucks, right? Okay. And then Starbucks, man, and then like we just talk about sneakers, and then and then we come up with like coffee shoe right away. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, we just want to create like a really sustainable sneakers, like something really cool, because like most of the sustainable products actually look quite boring to us. And that's what, and we feel like a lot of people feel the same in the market, and that was the basis idea of RENS. But of course, we didn't come up with a coffee shoe right in the beginning. We did something else. It was not this idea.
Yeah, it was blank canvas shoes made from organic cotton, and we have a 3D printer. We can print anything on the shoes, but the silhouette of the shoes doesn't look that great, and the whole idea isn't that great either. So yeah, we work on that idea for the whole 6 months. It's quite a long time, but it didn't go off. So we just have a new start. We seek out to find new materials, better and more sustainable materials, and we found like a lot of cool materials: charcoal, bamboo, coffee is one of them. Yeah. And we thought to ourselves, like, coffee has amazing functions: auto control. What else? Dry fast, and it's a waste material, and it's coffee. And people here,
It's
we
a great
live in
story.
Finland.
Yeah.
People love coffee,
Yeah.
so it's a great story.
That's true. That's amazing.
Our market is international, very international.
Yeah, exactly. So how long from the initial idea of wanting to build a sneaker company to now? How long was that journey?
It's almost, I think it's 2 years. It's 2 years now. It's exactly almost like 2 years, yeah.
So other than being sneakerheads, what are your personal backgrounds?
Yeah, so I came from Vietnam originally. I'm from the south. I'm from Ho Chi Minh City. And so I just came to Finland to study at Aalto, Mikkeli. Woohoo, Mikkeli! And I studied international business and logistics there. And then I experienced all the, nice student life in Finland. So really appreciate what Finland has given me.
Yeah, and I was in Mikkeli in 2014 until I moved to Helsinki. My background is all IT related, but that wasn't my passion, even though I've been doing IT for a long time. But my passion lies in branding, social media marketing, and storytelling. And I've been before moving to business, I've been practicing and learning it from just from internet.
He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I was a YouTuber for a while too, for half a year. But yeah, that's very fascinating for me, about social media and branding and storytelling.
Sun is the best in the world, I think. Yeah.
That's good. That's important. So you decided to launch a product on Kickstarter. That's not the most common path. What were the things that led up to that decision?
Yes, so we thought RENS when we started out. We had no name, right? So if we launch our own e-commerce store, it may look dodgy. So what we want is we can go on Kickstarter, which is a really reputable name because they have been around for a very long time. And then we launch there, we have access to their community. After this whole Kickstarter campaign, and it was really successful, and we really appreciate what the Kickstarter team has helped us a lot also. But after that, we feel we actually sacrifice a little bit to launch on Kickstarter, right, Son?
Yeah.
Because our demographics.
Yeah, not our demographic at all. Kickstarter is very well. The platform is most of it is about gaming and technology. A lot of cool design products. Yeah, but for sneaker, especially sneaker for us that have a really unique design like this, Kickstarter is not so good platform.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still successful. So
yeah. So to be totally straightforward, if we remove this hashtag, big ass hashtag here, we could have been even bigger, maybe 2 times, 3 times bigger than this $500,000. But the point is we don't want that. We want it to be we want it to be loud, we want it to be epic, and that's what our brand is about. It's not about just a Kickstarter phenomenon, Yeah. And I really respect Kickstarter still.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So all those things considered, who would you recommend Kickstarter for?
I would recommend Kickstarter for really techy products, and but even fashion products, and please feel free to come and come and ask us about our experience on Kickstarter. We had great experience on Kickstarter, and I would recommend it to any consumer products that have a little bit techy edges on it.
I would still recommend for every early startup to go on Kickstarter, even though whether or not it's it's their market or not, because even though if it's a big if it's a huge campaign, that where your demographic is, and even though it's not a big campaign, it's not as big as others like ours, we still know where's our demographic will be. Outside of Kickstarter.
Exactly, and I believe that Kickstarter is a very low-risk way to validate the demand for a product, as it is pre-sales. Yeah. So, it was the first Kickstarter campaign that we at Wave have followed very closely from behind the scenes, and it was a great learning experience. It was amazing to see what actually happens behind the scenes there. Yeah,
and it's the best crowdfunding platform in the world, period. So, try to go with Kickstarter if you can.
So, in addition to the two of you here, how many people do you have on your team now, and how many people did you have at the beginning of the campaign?
In the beginning of the campaign, we had like 6 people, right? And then now we grow into 9, and we're recruiting 3 more positions. So check it out on the hub. Yeah, so we are like expanding the team all the time. Okay. And they are, yeah, you guys, you are looking at the most stupid person in the team here. So that's why they let me do the video.
Yeah. So you've been able to build a great bunch of people around you, and that,
yes.
I mean, that's super important.
Yeah, since the Kickstarter campaign, it's quite successful, and opportunities are open. Yeah. And now we feel like we need more time, so that's why we keep scaling our business development team. And the social media is just to handle our social media. Right, we want to spread the word about RENS, as much as possible, as big and as epic as it can be. And video producer, we just need to produce more content. Yeah.
So this is almost like as you may have like predicted, it's like almost like a media company. It's a really fun company to be with as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that impressed us quite a lot as well, is that everything on the Kickstarter campaign, content-wise, has been produced in-house, pretty much. Yeah. So it's a very cost-efficient approach to doing what you do. So
yeah, we are pretty proud of it, of how we spend money.
Exactly. Yeah. Kudos to that. And congratulations on the pre-seed round that you just closed, that we were honored to be a part of as well. And my next question would be related to that, on how did you approach raising capital, and when did you realize the need for extra capital?
Yeah, so as you remember, it was actually in the beginning of this year, right? Yeah. And Sun and I, even before we met you guys, we thought like, oh, you know what, we're gonna max out our savings and got through the Kickstarter and get all the success for ourselves. But of course, that is not the reality here. And so at first we got we talked with like Mikko from Ambronite, and then Muafak Ahmed, one of the best angel investors in Finland. And then we realized like they know a lot of things that we don't know, and they are like, especially like Mikko and Muafak, and then the guys from Catchbox. So they are in consumer products, and which is not like a very common startup like types in Finland, because in Finland we mostly do games or software. So we feel like these guys are much more experienced than us, and we would love to have their help as well. And they support us a lot, like still supporting us until this day. Yeah. So that's why we decide to take their money and have them on board. And now like we have in total 9 investors, including you guys, and we really appreciate all of our investors that have helped us along the way, especially for like believing in us too, and then in our team over there, like right from the beginning when we had nothing. Like, to be honest, we had nothing in the beginning, and you guys believe in us, and we couldn't get here without your help.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe at this stage it'd be good to open up the process on Wave's side on how we actually decided to partner with the team at RENS. As we start off with analyzing the company's fit to our investment scope, which as a student-run VC fund is investing into our peers, so very much in the university ecosystem. Young founders, first-time founders, student entrepreneurs, which RENS fit into perfectly. Secondly, we focus very much on millennial ventures. So not only product services targeting millennials, but companies working on things that are very relevant to our generation, and which you at RENS are doing, and especially with the angle of launching a product on Kickstarter, that's something very millennial to us. Yeah. So that's where like the perfect fit was found on the scope wise. And then moving on from the scope, when that had been validated, we get to actually analyzing the team, your backgrounds, seeing whether we believe you're capable of executing what you're doing. And funny thing is that this is not the first time you've been in contact with Wave. Yeah. So Jesse's been like, we've known Jesse for a while. With his previous projects, he's come and even maybe been turned down, which is very common. So you should never quit if someone says no to you. So Jesse's come with ideas that have not yet been at the stage where they would be fundable as a VC. Went home, done his homework, fixed some things up, and always came back with an idea that's in a much better shape. Yeah. And finally, at the beginning of this year, he had a case that had all the potential for it to be investable from a VC perspective. So that's how we got to where we are now. And to go even deeper into the analysis on our side, we start from team. So Jesse's worked with Factory Finder beforehand. So in manufacturing, you've done e-commerce, you have some background there with Deal Dash. And Son, you've been with Zalando, working very strong with e-commerce. So we see, and social media. So we see what the team is doing here is very related to what they've done before. So they have proven traction on what they're doing. We believe in your competence and your business plan to actually build this. It makes sense. You're not doing something that you've never tried before. That's just like in general. And secondly, once we had belief in the team and the idea, then we started validating the actual product that they're building. And in this case, it's a sneaker at its like pure simplicity. So that's a very crowded market. So what we had to dig into that is whether we believe in its uniqueness, which is very important to stand out in this mass, and in its viral potential. Viral potential was a very big aspect that we focused on in our own analysis, and what we utilized in both analyzing and validating the demand and the viral potential was social media. So we ran a lot of questions, A/B tests on how people reacted to the design of the shoe and how people responded to the fact that it's made out of coffee, and really started believing in the virality potential that it has. And that's kind of what got us on board in the end. So the market's large enough, we believe in the team, and we also believe in the potential of the shoe to grow into something that would provide a feasible exit from an investor standpoint. And that's how we got here.
Yes, that sounds about right. Yes.
And this was much before the Kickstarter campaign. So the angle that we were looking at the team and the shoes themselves at that point was very much as a bet on the Kickstarter campaign, on what performs on Kickstarter. Does this have the potential to actually blow up there? Which it very much did, and we're super happy now, relieved now, and couldn't be more and couldn't be more excited for the future. And I think that would actually be a good way to wrap this up as well. It's what's next for RENS. Kickstarter campaign is over. What are you focusing on now?
Yes, so the first thing that we did already, which is like took a deep breath of relief because the Kickstarter campaign was actually like really a stressful experience. It was a lot of fun also, but it was like a really up and down, experience. And so we had a really, I think the biggest Kickstarter campaign ever from Finland, with over $500,000, way over $500,000 raised from over 5,000 customers in 69 countries. So we are really happy about that. So the next step is obviously that we would need to fulfill our promises to our customers, right? We are working really hard, like around the clock, to work on the production. I'm actually flying to Vietnam and China next week to take care of the production, so that we can deliver the best possible products to every single one of our Kickstarter backers. And currently we're also doing like an Indiegogo in demand. So if you miss out on the Kickstarter, you can still buy RENS on Indiegogo, but the shipping date would be later, which is in the beginning of next year. And after that we would focus on the production like I just said, and then we would launch our own e-commerce web store maybe by the end of this year as well. And it's gonna be like a really nice and really new experience. You would love it. Like, stay tuned. And of course, we are not a coffee shoe company. We want to build RENS into like a brand for young millennials and Generation Z, the next generations. And so this is just our first product, and we have something really cool in the pipeline. So stay tuned on that one as well.
Yeah. After so we're not taking care of the production, and the products will ship around November, and I think by after the holiday, so be in January or latest February, everybody would have the product ready. So that's when we gotta capture their reaction, how they feel about the shoe. They glad they have the shoe, or there's something they want to change, or they want to improve the next product line. That's where we get all the feedbacks. So when we will capture, we will get all those feedbacks, and we develop a new product, and we probably release a new coffee shoe, or some other sustainable shoe that made from some cool materials. Who knows, the middle of next year.
Yeah. Always listen to your customer. I think that's a good note to end on. I mean, it's great been following your guys' journey up to this point, and couldn't be more excited for what's to come. Otherwise, I think that was it for this interview. Wave's first video investment announcement. Thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions you want us to ask in future episodes, then please let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.